Hi, what's going on guys? It's Almond. Welcome back to another Wizard101 video. In today's video, we actually got one more day of test realm. Now, this was unscheduled from what it seems like because since we did get the announcement, I believe like on Friday, saying, hey, test realm's gonna be down, that's it, that's over. And there were some people that were like, okay, well, we really wish we had another day. So I think they gave us another day due to they had to do some internal testing, I assume, right? Obviously, I don't know what exactly is going on over there, but we got one extra day. So I was able to work on some slides, update some images. So if you guys already seen the Arc 3 spellment guide, I did fix the slides with better images and stuff because I kind of just had to work with whatever I had or whatever footage I have. So those should be those should have like updated images and stuff. Everything's correct on there as I stated, but just updated some stuff on there. But along with that, I was able to test two new Port of Perils that are coming out. Technically three. I did test out three different Port of Perils on test round because we did have, I believe, Spiral Cup Gauntlet, so you were able to test that. We also had the Grand Tourney Gauntlet as well as the Macbeth one. I always forget what's the name of that one, but basically I was able to test all three. So I'm kind of just gonna have that as background footage, but basically all of them were kind of working. We'll start off with Spiral Cup. Spiral Cup's very easy, so whenever Spiral Cup Gauntlet comes into the rotation of Portal Peril, very easy. You can just basically AoE round 1, round 2, blade stack, feint stack, whatever you want to do. I did that with like Brooke and Josh like a while back on test realm, so I have that footage of course. But for some reason, if you do pull the final boss into the fight, he was scaled down to a different rank. So it was like a rank 10 boss or something. And he didn't have his cheats. So I don't know what his actual cheats are, but that's probably going to be fixed in the next time he comes out, I assume. That's just my assumption. But yeah, you didn't have any cheats, so you're just able to kill him. So just by dragging him, which I don't think is intentional, right? I don't think that they intended to do something like that where you can just drag the boss into the fight. Because usually how Spiral Cup works is you have to fight the mobs, and then after that you fight the boss. But you can just straight up just drag the boss into the fight. So yeah, I think that'll be fixed, and then the boss will have some cheats. So whenever that happens, I'll actually make a guide for Spiral Cup Gauntlet, Port of Peril Edition. Kind of how we had the Sinbad Gauntlet, and I had to make a guide for it. Certain gauntlets that come into Port of Peril, I'm not going to make guides for just because they're kind of straightforward. For example, I think we had like whatever the recent gauntlet we had, like the fish one. I always call it the fish one. But yeah, all it was is just really faint AoE type thing. So I didn't really need to make a guide for it because there were no additional cheats. Sinbad, on the other hand, had the side boss that had additional cheats. The main boss, Iron Sultan, had his own new gimmicks. So I actually had to make a full-on guide for that. While the other ones don't really need a guide. I might have to make one for the Macbeth Gauntlet because the fact is he did have cheats. I did run through it. The first two fights, really easy. They didn't have any cheats from my experience, right? They might have some cheats and I just didn't experience it, but they're just really easy. But for the Macbeth fight, he had some cheats, but if you stagger join, it kind of just breaks the fight entirely from what it seemed like, and he just didn't use any of his cheats. He's supposed to put down an aura. He also had new cheats, but none of them worked because, hey, I stagger joined, and it kind of just broke the entire fight. But I've heard from other people like Court and other people in the Discord saying that like, hey, it wasn't working at all for them, and they were just doing it by themselves. So it just might be the entire fight is bugged, but they'll probably fix it whenever it comes to live realm, because we do go through rotations at the end of the month for different gauntlets, right? So sometimes we have Sinbad, sometimes we might have Grand Tourney, etc., right? They're always in a rotation, which is good to see, right? More gauntlets, more stuff to be in rotation. So we'll have to see about that. So Macbeth is just kind of buggy, and the rest of the gauntlet's fine. And then same thing with Spiral Cup. The whole entire dungeon's fine, except on the last fight you can just pull the boss into the mob fight when that's obviously not intended, right? So now we move on to the last one I got to test, which is the Grand Tourney Arena. Now, Grand Tourney Arena, for the majority of the fights, they were fine, but there were two fights that got additional cheats. So I believe one of them had like a cheat where he steals all your shad pips and then he gives you damage. It's kind of like a mana burn, but for shads. And then on top of that, he also had a minor blessing cheat. So every time at the end of the round, or at the beginning of the round or something like that, he would just cast a minor blessing on himself. Kind of interesting, but you know, these cheats didn't really affect too much because, hey, yes, we did get the addition of these new cheats, but you can still blade AoE, right? I'm pretty sure in the Macbeth fight, for example, in that gauntlet, you're not supposed to be blading because he had his cheat dialogue every so often that just didn't proc anything. So for this one per se, there was no cheat beyond that. So you can just blade stack AoE like a traditional fight. So it was very easy, but I'm pretty sure if you're for some reason soloing Portal Peril, it might be a little bit more of an issue, but it should be just generally fine, right? And you were still getting drops from all these gauntlets. All these gauntlets are still giving you drops. So you are still doing your regular traditional experience while getting your coins, as well as, you know, trying out these new cheats. And then finally on the last fight of the Grand Tourney Arena, he didn't have any new cheats either, other than he would meteor at the end of the round, every round. Yeah, no crazy gimmick or anything like that. He still had his original cheats. So if, like, for example, if you go like on the wiki, he still had his Dark Pact cheat, he still had his traditional cheats that he already had, but they just added some extra 1 or 2 cheats. There probably is more cheats, like I said, in all these gauntlets, but they're probably just either A, broken, for example, like Macbeth is broken, or B, there is some internal issues. So I wouldn't trip out too much about these Portal of Peril gauntlets till they're in rotation. But I'm hoping by the time they're in rotation, for example, like later this month, at the last week, hopefully they're not too busted in a way where it's like unplayable, or it just becomes cheat over and over and over when it's not supposed to. So I'm hoping that they eventually fix all that on their side of things. But that was all I tested from today, and I wanted to just make it into a video just so you guys can see what Portal Peril looks like, because nobody made a video on Portal Peril. So I thought I'd just compile this into the video with all the different gauntlets and all the different things. But if needed, like I said, if needed, I will make guides for these when Portal Peril comes back and these are in rotations. But from my experience, they're all very easy blade AoE type fights. There's no additional cheats other than Macbeth, because I don't know what his cheats are due to the fact of him just saying the dialogue but not doing it. So his cheats are just bugged. So depending on that, I might need to make a guide for that gauntlet. But for Spiral Cup and I believe the other one, the Grand Tourney one, should be kind of just straightforward. But Spiral Cup might need some extra testing because you had the wrong mob in the fight. You know, you're fighting a rank 10 mob when the dungeon's supposed to be level 170, right? The gauntlet's supposed to be level 170. So it was just pretty straightforward. But eventually, when time comes around and those come back in rotation, if needed, I will make strats for them. So there's that. Other than that, you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions on Test Realm. Did you guys have a fun experience? But I'm pretty sure the update will be coming out in the next couple days. But that is it for me. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all type of stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.